Joining me from London is broadcaster, writer and columnist Esther Krakue. Esther, it's like I'm rereading, 1984. How serious is Labor about having this new Islamophobia definition?
Unfortunately, they are very serious. And actually, when the riots started kicking off, I wasn't mainly concerned about just the civil unrest going on. I was concerned about the government's reaction. And unfortunately, they've proven many of us right, even before we saw these riots happen, which was the new Labour government is going to try and redefine words and crack down on free speech. The fact that they're conflating Islam, religion, with ethnicity and race just shows that not only are they just kowtowing to people that have an ulterior motive or agenda, but they don't really know what they're talking about. I wrote a piece recently where I drew a lot of parallels with the current riots that we were seeing last week with the 2006 riots in Birmingham that started between Black Caribbean communities and British Asian communities, mainly of Pakistani heritage. And that started basically off an unsubstantiated rumor that a Black Caribbean girl was gang raped by Pakistani men. There was no evidence of this, but the underlying tensions between those two communities led to 2 days of riots and were linked to the deaths of 2 men. In the same way, the 2011 riots, was started by a local Black man who was killed by a police officer, later confirmed to be lawfully. And that caused 5 days worth of riots, with 3,000 arrests, £200 million worth of property damage. Now, in both of those cases, you didn't have the government saying, oh, these are far-right activists, or let's crack down on free speech, or let's tackle BlackBerry Messenger, which was the big thing back in 2011. They actually discussed the underlying issues. They decided to talk about social cohesion and the concerns of people living in these communities. But now you're seeing when you have white working-class Brits the ones protesting, the government is more concerned with cracking down on free speech than a lot of the genuine concerns they have about immigration, about communities not integrating, living parallel lives from British people, about certain British Muslims, which are by no means the majority, but a small enough, a significant enough section that are pushing radical forms of Islam that are not even tolerated in Muslim majority countries. You don't have the UAE or Saudi Arabia or a lot of these Muslim majority countries tolerating a lot of these Islamist movements that are led by fanatics that want to bring in a very strict form of Islam, that want to impose a very warped form of Sharia law and all of these things. But according to Keir Starmer, even trying to discuss it is going against someone's Muslimness. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but many of us saw the writing on the wall when Keir Starmer was elected. And unfortunately, he's proving many of us right.
Well, it sure would. How's it going down, though, this declaration or this suggestion?
Well, it's going to become apparent that it's completely unworkable. They're also trying to crack down on certain types of speech online. Now, English common law, the tradition of English common law means that if something is not prohibited, it's legal. But Keir Starmer is trying to impose some sort of hateful but legal. So the information online that you would find would be unhelpful or hateful, but somehow legal. But that would give him the grounds to ban it, which completely contradicts English common law. And I'm surprised that a lawyer of his standing would even suggest something like that. But I don't see it working. It's just fraught with irregularities and inconsistency.
Well, gosh, I hope you're right, Esther. I can't believe what I'm reading from England at the moment, but worse for you, you're sitting in it, having to deal with it. Esther Krakue, thank you so much for your time.